Thank you so much for coming out to Starbucks. How many of you are from the Bushwick area? Brooklyn? Wherever you're coming from, thank you so much for coming out here. And I hope it was like an easy commute and enjoy Bushwick. Sorry the weather is like crappy, but there's a lot to do out here. There's a lot of great restaurants and bars, and this is a fantastic space. I've lived here since 2001. I'm only a few blocks up, and I've never ever done a gig in my own neighborhood. So this is really interesting story. I literally just walked 2 blocks over. I don't even have to call an Uber or anything. But I'm here. I'm going to introduce our first reader tonight. Before I read the official bio, I just have to say it is a pleasure to know that there's a whole new generation of queer Latinx poets who are fierce and rising and really out there fighting for our rights and speaking our truths, because we need to hear all our differences, all our universalities, and bring people together through poetry. So give it up for Ximena Izquierdo Ugaz. She is an Afro-Andina multimedia artist, curator, and educator born in Lima, Peru. Her work primarily touches on the imprint of intergenerational trauma within her own family in relationship to place and migration. She is the teen programs coordinator at the Brooklyn Museum, the visual arts co-curator at Nat Root, as well as a founding member and co-curator of Sweeties, a gallery and platform dedicated to supporting and exhibiting artists of color, like myself. In addition, Izquierdo Ugaz is the author of the self-published Standing in the Bathroom in the Dark, Thinking About Green, and El Mismo Pozo, The Same Well. Her work has appeared in Feelings, and her first chapbook is available tonight, and it's titled Estoy Tisteza, from No Deer Magazine and Small Anchor Press, and which was recently published. So please make sure to take photographs of her, get books, and have her sign them. But please give it up for Ximena.
Thank you so much, everyone, for thank you, everyone, for being here tonight and coming out to Bushwick. And I'm happy to see all of you. People coming from North Carolina, maybe people I haven't seen for 10 years. I'm just amazed. So thank you so much. So tonight I'm gonna read some poems from this chapbook that just came out, as Emma said, earlier this year. And I'll also read a few newer poems and some poems that are not in this collection. So, one more thing before I start. This chapbook is dedicated to my father and to all fathers out there who are difficult to love, that we hate, that we have so much trouble understanding that we're part of them. So that's really what I was exploring in this book, is kind of that relationship with fathers and fatherhood in my life. I have 2 shadows. One is darker, and at night with lights off, I can only whisper softly into my sister's ear. Did you see the fathers at the birthday party? They lost the game, and as punishment, in their beer-stained button-up shirts and jeans, gyrated their bodies slowly to the clown's song. Así, así, como mueve la colita, si no la mueve, la tiene tapadita. This one's called Miami Swan Song, and it's dedicated to Randy, who's a person I met one summer in Miami. Last night, my baby brother told me bedtime stories. Once upon a time, there was a boy that wasn't friends with his hand. That's it, he said. If you don't stop crying, you won't dream. 3 more hours on this flight as I watch Florida vanish past the sea and into clouds. Each cloud has a family, and each family is moving in the most painful, slow sprint, all in a great migration. I could stay here forever on a plane that will never land. We could just drift hundreds of miles above this city, surrounded by the same people for eternity. The 3 Red Sox fans and the flatulent man behind me could become intimate friends. Maybe in time we could explore the farthest reaches of the wingspan, the secret crevices of the cockpit. We could pamper ourselves with cocktail parties, dressed in each other's clothes. I could fall in love with the flight attendant. Her hair barely caresses her ears as she whispers the list of purchasable snacks into mine. You should see the ocean from here. Complete stillness all around. The water turns steadily into sky. There is no separation. Estoy Tisteza. 1. My uncle tells me that every country has a spirit. He says that I've lost the spirit of our country, that it is no longer in my features, my way of speaking, of breathing. In Pinco, we meet Teofila Silvestre. I am standing outside her adobe home, from where I can see the tallest snowy mountain, lit faintly by every single constellation. And what has brought you here, Teofila, to this land of violent frost? I cannot sleep at night. She says in broken Spanish, Estoy Tisteza. Her cat has died, and a whitewash has sucked the blood dry of her pregnant guinea pig. We are driving to the place where my mother was born. My uncle has waited 25 years to return. 25 years since the only time it ever snowed in the town of Samangay, and he walked incredulous for miles. Every hill was draped in white. It was the first time he saw snow. We are 2,224 meters above sea level, yet just yesterday in Ancash, I could smell the ocean from my window. My uncle says that the roads are like the blood veins of the country, amid which hundreds of people ceaselessly circulate and bring life. We drive through the town, in which mercury from the nearby mine overflowed the streets like a river and made its way into the town's water. Now there is thirst. These hills are not just hills. These mountains are filled with gold. It was what drove white settlers here, deep in these mountain valleys. 2. Every morning a band awakens the city, playing guaynos through the narrow streets. It is San Juan Bautista's festival, which means puro baile. I am in a large crowd, arm in arm with 3 girls I have just met, and the entire town is here dancing. Somewhere inside of this brightly colored, snuggled multitude are all of my aunts flowing wildly to the chichas and guaynos. Closer to the stage, I can spot Misho, the man with the green eyes, the one that glued the soles of my shoes back together. I am dancing with a 15-year-old boy, yet these palms are not his. These sandpaper hands don't belong to him. I ask for his name as I try to brush off the roughness of his hands. He tells me he tills the fields, picks potatoes, grinds corn. When no one is looking, I run to the highest slope of the tallest hill. I rub my face into the fertile soil of this mountain plateau, searching for the spirit, wanting nothing more but to have it again in my features, my way of speaking, of breathing. Down the road, a motorcycle taxi driver asked me if I would dance with him tonight. At that moment, the firework castle in the plaza goes off, abolishing every other sound and sight. It is a beautiful thing to run away from. This is called Self-Portrait at 21. I am really good at missing the bus. I am often about to turn the corner where the bus stops, and I can feel it. Something in my chest, like un presentimiento. Like my father seeing a vision of his father knocking on the door of his house and turning the corner and locking eyes with him with his hands at the door. The bus speeds down the road. Oh. Sorry. Yes, the bus speeds down the road while I concentrate on the sound of my boots on the snow, like squeezing chuño in your hands. At the stop, I watch specks of white bouncing off the black umbrellas of 3 Dominicanas. When I think of umbrellas, I remember pushing a shopping cart in the Miami sun showers con mommy and my sister with $50 worth of groceries for the month. Sometimes the only safe place is between your tacky, flowery bed sheets, como las de tu abuelita, with your lover. For my 21st birthday, Mommy gives me a bracelet with my name engraved in a little silver heart. It reminds me of the golden hoop earrings my best white friend got herself with her name splitting the circle, Tracy. And I wonder what it means to have your name incised into something. When I'm walking with my eyes on the floor beneath me, I can't tell if I'm seeing the snow or its shadow. On the first night of my birthday, I write my name onto the windshield of a parked car with my finger. High voltage transmission lines. When the blackout stopped, Gustavo wept each night and morning. As children, the blackouts were a great scavenger hunt. The whole family sifted through years of newspaper cutouts of recipes and flower placemats for candles, and rounded up all the candelabra in the house. Our hearts beat 10 times too fast at the smell of the wax dripping slowly onto a small ceramic plate in the bathroom. Soon, the blackouts ripened into routine, and if you were afraid of the dark, you held on tight to your mother's neck in consolation, as everyone gathered around the living room and listened to each other for hours until sleep came. Today, I turned 24, which means it's been 24 years since Abimael Guzman was captured. 24 years since Fujimori dissolved Congress and shut down all the media stations. 24 years since the university students of La Cantuta were assassinated. 24 years alive in a generation that is missing thousands. Those who could have been our parents forcibly sterilized. As we walk with all the children whose chance at life was stolen. It is very late years later, at your kitchen table, eating buttered bread on your flower placemats, remembering when they stopped bombing the high voltage transmission lines.